Hi, friend. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Kayla Tyshen, and I help parents have more confidence in their parenting, more connection with their kids, and more joy in their home. I also talk about my parenting journey with fatigue and illness as a type 1 diabetic. I'm starting a series called Reclaiming My Health as a Type 1 Diabetic, where I'll be sharing about what I'm doing to get my health back on track in a sustainable way that fits my lifestyle as a parent. Also, wanting to get pregnant again. So, subscribe so you don't miss these videos. And if you're a parent looking for support, check out the other videos on my channel for evidence-based support for raising kids in a way that's respectful, that's introspective, and that ultimately leads to deeper relationships with your children. Hey there, welcome back. I'm looking forward to updating you guys. It's been a while. And yeah, I've just been super busy and focused. I got to speak at a TEDx event this past weekend, which was just super exciting and such a gift. But yeah, I was definitely very focused on preparing for that. And it's neat how, this is all kind of coincided. And, all of this kind of reclaiming my health, really making health a priority. And then doing this event, I've shared about just the brain fog and the fatigue and um, a lot of that, started to lift in the weeks leading up to TEDx. And so I was just so grateful for that because I felt like it really gave me some of the capacity that I needed to prep. Um, and yeah, there's a few things I wanted to share. Um, a big one was that I was talking to my dad one night, and we were talking about how interesting it was that I was, anemic, and then went and, had this iron infusion. And he started just processing with me and trying to brainstorm, why that might be. And because I do eat a lot of meat, and I also cook all of our meals on a cast iron. And so, yeah, it is interesting that I was anemic. And he stumbled across celiac and some of the symptoms with celiac and actually type 1 diabetes being like the number one risk factor for celiac disease. And so something else that also came up in that conversation, which I'm sorry, TMI, but I have had major stomach issues for the past like 7 months, like diarrhea every day for the past 7 months. And that is obviously not comfortable, not healthy. And that was another one of these, potential symptoms of celiac disease. And so I actually went to get tested, and I actually stopped eating gluten, went and got my antibodies checked. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like, this is gonna help solve the discomfort that I've had for so long. And, maybe this will be the answer. Well, it turns out that the blood test came back negative. The antibodies the antibodies test came back negative for celiac, which in a lot of ways was a huge relief. I was like, are you really just trying to wrestle with the fact that I could potentially have two autoimmune diseases now and just what that would look like for the rest of my life being so, um, having to avoid anything even just contaminated with gluten. So it was a relief when it came back negative. However, it was also a bit of a disappointment, just still not knowing what the root cause for these issues have been. And so, um, yeah, it's just been an interesting journey. I actually can have continued to be gluten free because it actually does seem like it is relieving some symptoms. There have been two times where I accidentally did eat gluten, and then sure enough, like the next day, had an upset stomach. So I am going to continue eating gluten-free for the time being because it does seem to just make me feel a lot more comfortable. But yeah, I'm kind of at a loss at this point for what actually is the issue. So if anyone has any ideas or has experienced similar symptoms, let me know. Let me know what you did. Give me some leads. I do have a doctor's appointment with my endo coming up the beginning of June. So I will be talking to him about some of these things and maybe seeing if he suggests seeing a GI. But anyways, just one of those things when you're navigating your health. So, yeah, and just to update you guys on some other things, I have continued to do the workouts that I had mentioned, those 10 minutes a day. I did take some time off for the TEDx stuff, preparing for that. But honestly, I have been feeling so much better when it comes to energy and motivation and just my emotional well-being. It's just really had such a positive impact, and I'm so, so glad to be moving in this direction. So, if you're struggling and you're just lacking, you're just lacking the motivation because it all does play into each other, right? The physical, the emotional, the mental. It's just about baby steps, though. It's not about doing something huge. I feel like leading up to this kind of bigger decision, it's just been these small baby steps um to allow me to get here to kind of make some of these bigger changes that I needed to make. Um yeah, and I also wanted to update you guys that I so my cravings used to be so intense. And like every afternoon, I would just crave something salty. And I just couldn't stop at like one. I ate the whole bag of pretzels and I just had to eat something salty like pretzels or something like that, which obviously for um, glucose is not a great option. But yeah, and then in the evenings after dinner, after we put the girls to bed, I just would crave something sweet. And I really feel like those four hacks that I shared, and actually some of Glucose Goddess's other hacks have really helped to break out of those cravings. I really felt like they lifted a few weeks ago, which just make it so much easier. It makes it so much easier to be able to make um, decisions that feel good. And not that I don't ever eat something sweet. No, not at all. Yesterday, we made some gluten-free apple bread, and yeah, it's super yummy. Definitely, has carbs, not low carb by any means. Um, but it's just the craving piece that I don't have to eat it. I'm not driven to eating things that, don't make me feel good. So that's been really awesome. I've just been feeling so much better. And I was texting my nutritionist yesterday, I think, and was just showing her, and I think it was like 97% in range and like 1% above range and maybe like 1% or 3% below range, whatever it was. And that just felt so good. It felt so good just to know that I am, um, yeah, just doing the things that I need to do for my health and for myself, my well-being, for my family. And just getting to do things that I love to do too, getting to do things that I am really, really passionate about. So, yeah, I just this growing desire and compassion and empathy for other moms that are going through something similar, going through some kind of health thing, whether it's physical or, mental health, um, dealing with symptoms like fatigue while trying to parent, dealing with brain fog while also trying to be present and also do things that are life-giving. It's really hard to, yeah, even just want to do things that used to be fun and used to be life-giving when you just feel so exhausted. And so, yeah, I just have this growing desire just to be a support to moms in particular, dads as well, but yeah, parents that are dealing with these kinds of things that are so real. And I was talking to someone recently about how when you have an autoimmune disease or some kind of illness like that, like it's all on the inside and people can't see it. And so it oftentimes doesn't make sense to people why you look fine and look like you should be able to just be a normal human being and do everything that everyone else can do, but you can't. You physically just feel so exhausted that you can't get up off the couch and no one understands why. But it is so real. It is real. I have experienced this and I have experienced judgment for this. Why are you just on the couch all day? Why don't you just go for a walk around the neighborhood? Why don't you just start exercising? You'll feel better. It takes so much more than that. It takes so much more than that. Um, but there is hope. And if you are going through this, you're not alone. I think it can feel really, really lonely when, yeah, when no one around you really understands and when you can't do a lot of the things that you used to do or hold a lot of the responsibilities that you used to hold and you are relying on other people, whether it's, a spouse or family members. Um, yeah, man, it can just feel so, so lonely, but you're not alone. There are there are so many of us that can relate and that understand. And I know for me, like there are seasons, in this particular moment, like, yes, I am feeling so much better. Um, but I think, yeah, there might even be other seasons where I don't feel like this for whatever reason. So, and there's not always a quick fix. Um, yeah, or if even a fix at all. And so, we really do just need to be there to support one another. And yeah, just know that if you are in this situation, you're not alone. Well, that is all for today. Thanks so much for being here. And if you resonated with any of this, go ahead and just show up in the comments and let's just, yeah, support each other and give each other that encouragement and the support that we all need on this journey. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for watching my video. Leave any questions you have in the comments and I will get back to you. If you are needing support in your parenting and you're interested in working with me, check out my website, www.yourconsciousparentcoach.com. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next video.